Johnny John. Todd, you know what I'm talking about?
Have no clue what you're talking about.
Well, it's even funnier when we look at exactly what I'm talking about. And let's actually just dive right in to this iconic video, which is now turned into a meme.
Johnny John.
Oh, but we're going to have to play that again. So this is, Todd, you were actually, this was in Miami. You were here.
Johnny John.
And this is John Elway riding like a Lime scooter or something the night before you guys played the Dolphins in Miami. And that was his wife taking the video. And I think it was just on like Instagram or something. And of course, someone screenshotted it. And so this was 5 years ago-ish, I think. So I think you were on the team during this time.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's become a little iconic of Johnny John.
He was out having a good old time.
He was having a good time.
Roaming the streets of Miami. Lord knows what they were getting into, huh?
You can get into a lot there, can't you?
I think so.
And we're going to talk about John Elway on the DNVR Broncos podcast, where I've got Super Bowl 50 champ Todd Davis. You hear behind the camera, and yours truly, Zach Stevens, rolling with you today on kind of a depressing day outside. I mean, it feels like we're in the Midwest or something today.
It does feel gloomy, but we're alive.
We're live, yeah.
We're happy to be here.
And it's a Friday.
Yep.
So we get the weekend off, first weekend without football. What are you going to do with yourself?
Whoa. And I'll probably hang out.
I mean, you do have a lot of extra time.
I don't know about that much time. Hang out with the fam. Kids have like basketball games and stuff tomorrow, so we'll do all of that. And we'll probably like go on a drive, go to the mountains, probably get into something.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Do you ski or snowboard?
No, I've tried snowboarding, but I can't say I snowboard,
Have you tried and you've retired, or do you still want to do that?
No, I'll do it again. I just, it's been a minute.
That's
since I
fair.
tried.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, could be a good week. It looks like it's a weekend to be outside for some skiing and some snowboarding. But let's get into today's topic. We know John Elway just made the Super Bowl even worse for Broncos Country, as right after the game, he goes through a sea of Chiefs carrying the Lombardi Trophy, carries it all the way up onto the stage, hands it to Patrick Mahomes, is congratulating Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, and it's just like, this is awful for so many reasons. The Chiefs just won their second Super Bowl. Now they're being called the dynasty. Not only is the Broncos legend, John Elway, carrying the Lombardi Trophy there, but this is also, he's not just a Broncos legend. He's also a former GM that was around during the time that Patrick Mahomes and this dynasty was kind of starting. So it's like, man, you could have stopped this. And a lot of people could stop this. Obviously not all on John, but it just in so many ways was so heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was sad to see. He's definitely a legend here in Colorado. So you never want to see him carrying the trophy to the opposing team. I wish he would have drug it on the ground a little bit while he was about to give it to him. And he looks happy to be there. He was smiling. He was cheesing. I was like, oh, this one sucks.
Yes, it does suck. And Broncos Country just got a hold of it and was like, why, John? They were like, Johnny John, why? And so Adam Schefter, he has a weekly podcast that he does. And he said right when he saw John carrying the trophy, he said, this is who I have to have as my guest. Not Andy Reid, not Patrick Mahomes for winning the Super Bowl. He said, I got to have John Elway on my show to figure out why he was doing this, what was going through his mind. And through the course of the interview, John never exactly said why, but it was insinuated that because it was the 25th anniversary of him being Super Bowl MVP for Super Bowl 33, that's the reason why they asked him to do this. I believe they had the Super Bowl, or the 50th anniversary of that Super Bowl MVP, carry the trophy to John, then John, the 25th anniversary, carry it up to the stage. So that's why John was in that position. So it wasn't because it was the Chiefs. It wasn't because it was the 49ers, who he would have had the opportunity to give it to a friend in John Lynch, his coach's son and Kyle Shanahan. That would have kind of been cool, but it wasn't for that. It was just the 25th year 25th anniversary. And John talked about it. And we've got a couple of audio clips that we want to hit. John talked about what his thought process was carrying the Lombardi to the Chiefs. Oh, all good.
Uh-oh.
All right, here it is.
You yesterday, I'm watching the ceremony. I see you on the stage with the Chiefs, walking out with the trophy, giving it to the hated Kansas City Chiefs in the home of the Las Vegas Raiders. And I said, I have to know what John thought of that. Like, what's going through your mind when you're high-fiving all the Chiefs in the Raiders' home stadium?
Well, I didn't think about being in the Raiders' home field, but he knew I was giving it to the Chiefs, and I was really hoping for, obviously, good friends with Johnny Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. Really, was rooting for him. But it was a tremendous game, and the Chiefs played great, especially that second half came back. And I'd much rather given it to the 49ers, but the Chiefs played great and played well enough to win that football game. Mahomes came through for him, and so it was good to see him up there. I think he's going to be one of the greats of all time.
John, stop when you're ahead. Stop when you're ahead. Like, just stop right after you're like, I wish I was carrying it to the 49ers.
Wow.
Stop there. All good. We Broncos Country loves you there. And then he goes on and he's like, oh, the Mahomes, one of the greatest of all time, this and that. He played a great... No, stop. But at least he was cheering for the 49ers.
He was. I mean, so I think most of Broncos Country were. Didn't work out, but at least we know that he was on the right side of the line.
Man, yeah, at least we know that. Okay, we've got a couple of other clips that I want to get to because we haven't heard from John pretty much since he not retired, not stepped away, stepped up in the organization. You know how that worked out? Because that was right after you left. Do you know how John Elway's tenure ended in Denver?
No, I know he got a promotion of some sorts. Much better gig. I think it was even better paid, but I'm not sure about it all.
It wasn't even just he got a promotion. He kind of promoted himself. So he didn't get fired. He went from general manager to president of football operations, which meant that he got to hire the next general manager. And we've seen this a couple of times, kind of like Pete Carroll in Seattle. Pete, from everything we've heard, wanted to be back as the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. And the ownership made a decision like, no, we just want to go in a different direction. So instead of firing Pete, because he means so much to the Seahawks, they promoted him in a way to like a consultant role if he wanted to stay on there. John was even more so. It was like Joe Ellis was like, John, got to move on. Like, this is not working. So many losing seasons in a row. So we're going to promote you to president of football operations. Then you're going to be able to hire a general manager under you to do the job that you're supposed to be doing. But you're not going to take a pay cut. You can still get paid your general manager. So it was like the perfect thing because then also less is on John's plate. He still gets a pay cut. And then John Elway never has to be fired. Pretty good deal, huh?
Not a bad deal at all. Not a bad deal.
And that was, 3 years ago, I think? And so we really haven't heard from him. So this was like a 20-minute interview. And we got a little more from John, talking specifically about being on the field for the Super Bowl. And he was pressed a little more about what it was like carrying the trophy, but John didn't want to talk about the trophy anymore. So he just talked about being on the field for the Super Bowl.
We're going to get to him in a moment, but what's going through your mind as you're high-fiving these players as you're walking out into the field?
It was fun to be down there. It's been a long time since I've been back down on the field, especially at a Super Bowl. So it was really kind of fun. I got pushed back about 4 or 5 times. They said I couldn't be on the sidelines, or too close to the field. But, it was great being down there and, reminiscing about the feelings of what that game was all about and how much it means to everybody. And, to be in a football game like that, I'll never forget going into Super Bowl 32. And I, was just asking, just because we've been blown out in the 3 previous was, can you just please, God, let us be in the football game in the 4th quarter. And sure enough, with 5 minutes to go, the score was tied, and we were able to move it down and score the go-ahead touchdown. But reminiscing down there and being down there was really it was a great feeling.
Man, that was like a very human moment from John, admitting that after he had been to 3 Super Bowls, entering his 4th Super Bowl, he said, just please, God, let this be a game in the 4th quarter. Like, wow. Talk about being down bad after getting blown out in his first 3 Super Bowls, having to go into your 4th Super Bowl And really what you're hoping for, obviously John wants to win, but he's just like, can this just be a game? Because I've just been blown out in so many Super Bowls before. I can't imagine that was your mindset or the Broncos' mindset in Super Bowl 50, was it?
No, we're definitely going in there for the win. And that's tough to be in that position because, like, I think you'd rather maybe you do want to make it to the Super Bowl. I was going to say you might rather lose a close game in the AFC Championship instead of just getting blown out every year in the Super Bowl. But ultimately, you probably do want to be in the Super Bowl, but you definitely don't want to lose big on the biggest stage. You know, everybody's watching. So a close game is better than just a blowout.
I mean, and that's kind of been a conversation with some people of like, what would you rather have? Michael Jordan's career, where you go to 6 finals and you win all 6 NBA trophies, or would you rather have Tom Brady's career, where you go to 10 Super Bowls, but you lose 3 of them, you win 7. So you have one more championship if you're Tom than Michael. But you also lose 3, where Michael gets to look back and say, I was perfect when I got to the big game.
Yeah, but I think the 10 is better than being perfect.
Yeah.
It just shows that you were the best for so long. Like, he even had one of those losses, was like an undefeated season up until that point. Like, that's a hell of a season, even if you lose that one. So I definitely would pick maybe having 7 championships, but going 10 times. Yeah. I mean, there's not many people that have been to a championship 10 times. Like maybe Tom Brady, Bill Russell, and that's about it.
That's probably it. I mean, if Michael Jordan isn't doing it, it's hard for anyone else to do it.
Yep.
And I think you're right. I mean, there's 2 things. One, Tom just has more championships than Michael with that. And then also the 10 Super Bowls. Like, if you're getting to the final game and losing it, it sucks. But come on, you're the second best team still. Like the Bills. What was it? 3 straight Super Bowls? Was it 4? Were the Bills 3 or 4 straight Super Bowls that they went to and lost?
Right?
I think it was 4.
It was 4 straight Super Bowls.
Dang.
And that's kind of what John was going into with his 4th Super Bowl. He had lost the first 3. He's like, can this just be a game? I bet the Bills might have been in that situation. Like, can this just, when they got to their 4th one, can this just be a game? Can we have a chance at the end of this 4th one to win it?
And at least he won some. Like the Bills to do that and not win any. Like even if you win 1 out of the 4, like at least, all right, fine, we got it done once.
Yep.
You know, the other 3 were just preparing us to get to this moment. Just to never win one after being there, like that's crazy. And they play like different teams every year.
Yep.
I'm sick.
That's the one where he's running to the end zone after I think a fumble, and then they hit it out of the end zone, out of the guy's hand, and that turned the whole game around. That's Deion's first Super Bowl win ever.
Wow,
I'm sick.
It really is sickening. And honestly, Super Bowl 32 was massive for John. Terrell Davis was the MVP of that one when he just went crazy with the migraine. But it was huge because if John doesn't win that one, maybe they don't win in 33. Mm-hmm. And if John has the legacy of like 4 Super Bowls or even 5 Super Bowl appearances, but no wins, he's probably mentioned a little bit better than Dan Marino because at least he was able to make so many Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. But Dan Marino, stats off the charts, talent incredible, the eye test amazing.
Yep.
He never won a Super Bowl, so he's talked about as like, yeah, of course he's a Hall of Famer, but an all-time great, give me a break. He's never in those conversations. John would have been slightly above him, but like he wouldn't have been in those conversations. And now he's mentioned in every single conversation of like the top 5 greatest all-time quarterbacks, but he really needed those 2 at the end.
Yeah, those Super Bowls and those championships, they really mean a lot. Doesn't matter how good your stats are in the regular season. If you don't have any Super Bowls, you're not going to be in the conversation.
Yep.
And, you know, I think even guys like Allen Iverson, I think if he had a couple of rings, like he may be the greater than Kobe or up there with really like top 5 all time.
Yeah.
I think his rings are what is holding him back, even though he is a great player. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
I think the rings always matter.
Yeah. And do you think, I mean, Carmelo Anthony, a guy that's been in the news in Denver this week for his comments about leaving Denver, never won anything.
Yep.
And then you look around and guys in his draft class, specifically LeBron James, it's like that is the biggest separator is just winning. Carmelo's like one of the greatest scorers of all time, but that's kind of where the conversation stops with him. He's a great basketball player because he's a scorer, and then the conversation stops with him. Do you subscribe to quarterback wins? Because you know quarterback wins is a real stat, but no other position is wins a stat.
What do you mean quarterback wins? Like they only track the quarterback wins?
Exactly. Only quarterbacks get credited for wins and losses. So the only player that a real stat is based off of is quarterbacks. So there you can't find. I mean, we could go through and add up your wins and losses, but that's not an official.
That's not
stat.
like just
Only quarterbacks.
Doesn't make any sense because for some of those teams, the defense could carry them, or the defense could win or lose them the game.
I wonder what you're talking about.
No, I'm just saying, like in general, like it's just happened before. So yeah, that's not fair.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that in the sport that has the most people that play, 22 people play on offense and defense, and there's more in special teams if you want to, that one person is given the majority of the wins and the losses are put on them, yet like basketball, there's 5 people. They're not just putting it on the point guard or the center or the power forward. No, it's put amongst the 5. It's spread out. But in football, it's all the quarterback.
Dang. It's cold world.
But at times, though, that means you can just put the blame on the quarterback, right?
Yep,
like
for
you
sure.
you don't get to take the blame for that. Okay, we've got more from John here, but first I've got to tell you about our friends over at Bet365, where if you want to get in, it's the NBA All-Star Weekend.
NBA.
Man, just bet the over on the All-Star game. I don't know what it is, but no defense is ever played in that game. So take the over there. It's probably ridiculously high. The over will hit anyways. Over at Bet365, you can also get in on hockey. You can get in on baseball that's coming up. And then, of course, if you want to play some future football bets, they have those with the draft as well. Use the code DNVR365 at sign up, deposit $10, and then you get to choose between either getting $150 in bonus bets after you place a $5 bet, or you get a first bet safety net offer by placing a bet up to $2,000. And if your qualifying bet loses, you receive that matched in bonus bets. So Bet365 is hooking you up. They've got so many bets, especially come the draft. They're going to have everything that you want. So make sure to use that code DNVR365 over at Bet365. You must be 21 and older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, once help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
And you know who else is hooking you up?
Who?
Our friends over at Circle K with their Inner Circle. It's a free membership, easy download. We always have the QR code on the screen. You need your phone number and your email, and you can get fully enrolled. There's a lot of great benefits to being a Circle K Inner Circle member. You have the first 5 fill-ups of gas are 25 cents off. The first 5 Polar Pops are free. Free 6 free on several items such as pizza, roller grill, dispensary, beverages, donuts, and more. You can sign up with the QR code on the screen or visit www.circlek.com/inner-circle for more information. You can get a free any size Polar Pop from Colorado Circle K's by texting DNVR to 31310. That's DNVR to 31310.
Okay, Todd, let's hit a couple more of these clips from Elway. You hear we're going to skip the third one. We're going to hit the fourth one. This one is very tough to listen to at first. But then I think there's a big positive at the end. I'm curious if you agree with this. Let's listen to it.
You bring up Mahomes. What impresses you most about him?
There's nothing that doesn't impress me. I'd be dead honest with you. I think the one thing I really like about Patrick is he's got all the physical tools, but he's not afraid of anything. He makes great decisions. He's a great athlete, can move around, make the plays. And, just his mentality. He's a winner and a competitor. I think he would compete more than anybody else. And I think probably his greatest asset, Adam, is Andy Reid. I tell you what, he's done a hell of a job putting him in the right situations, doing what Patrick does best, and get him in those situations and build that offense around Patrick. And I think they're a great combination. Then you got a tight end like Kelce that they've got a great relationship that, is very difficult to cover. And so, they've got everything going, but it's really a tribute to Patrick, but also really with Andy Reid and what he's done in the development of Patrick has been tremendous.
Okay, that was tough. Hearing John talk about how great Patrick Mahomes is. But, so that was the tough part. But the encouraging part, he said Mahomes' greatest asset is Andy Reid. Does that mean that we could expect maybe a significant drop off from Mahomes' play when Andy Reid retires?
I feel like we always are praying for
We are
for Andy Reid to be gone and just see what happens to Patrick Mahomes. I think there's going to be some fallout no matter what, losing Andy Reid, but he's a talented player, and I'm sure whoever they bring in there is going to be a pretty good offensive coordinator because you're going to have guys wanting to play with Patrick Mahomes. So I don't think there's going to be anybody that they bring in there that's going to not be talented enough to kind of put together good plays for Patrick Mahomes to run. Plus, you might run into a Peyton Manning situation, like where you come on board with Peyton Manning, you're running Peyton's offense for the most part. Yeah. Like, that's just kind of what it is. So he's probably going to stick to some of the stuff he's been doing and kind of forever run this kind of Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid mashup of offense.
I really hope that John's right, that like his biggest asset, Mahomes' biggest asset is Andy Reid. And when Andy leaves, there's a drop off because it's really Andy's genius and Andy knows exactly how to use Mahomes. But I thought of Peyton. Exactly. Like, I'm sure Peyton was benefited a lot from good coaching early in his career.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, who was it when he got here? It was Adam Gase was originally here, and Adam Gase looked like a genius when he was with Peyton.
And then we all saw how that ended.
Yeah, exactly. And then a new offensive coordinator comes, and it's the same results. It's still amazing. And actually, Gary Kubiak changed Peyton more than I thought any coach was ever going to change Peyton. Kind of did a hybrid of Gary's offense with Peyton's offense. It wasn't just Peyton's offense, but credit to Gary. It worked.
It worked.
Gary, that was maybe one of the best coaching performances that I'll ever see because not just having to deal with a struggling Peyton Manning, which is just never thought I would say that, but then also deal with Peyton's personality of coming back from injury, maybe being healthy to play, but Brock was playing well enough, and just dealing with that week in and week out was incredible to see from an outside perspective. And Todd, you were there. It seemed like Peyton was ready to play a couple of weeks before he actually played. Was there any tension or drama in the locker room then?
No, it wasn't much tension. I think everybody knew what the goal was. And I think even Peyton knew he wasn't his young, vibrant self. At least on the field. So I think he was just preparing for his moment. We knew that we would always go back to him, so he knew that he had to be ready when it was his time. He never felt like he would potentially sit the bench for the rest of the year. Like, I don't think that was ever the, energy in the locker room. He was just getting ready for when he knew, all right, now I got to put something together.
So that was just kind of the vibe that everyone knew. It's not like Kubiak came out one week and was like, hey, let's just give Brock a couple more weeks. Peyton will be back. It was just known, like, it's PFM. When he's ready, he'll be back.
For sure.
Yeah, and that's always the vibe I had. But there were a lot of people outside the building that thought like, hey, Brock's 5-2. Brock's playing a lot better than Peyton was in terms of touchdown to interception. Maybe he should be the guy. And then, of course, week 17, Peyton comes in mid-game, wins that game, number 1 seed locked up, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, I think Brock was playing good, and he had the hottest hand, but when you have a legend on your team like that, I think just the energy they provide, the confidence they give the rest of the guys, it's just unmatched.
Yep.
Like, even if they can't or haven't executed at the highest level, I think they just elevate everybody else's game so much they have to be on the field.
Yep, I totally agree. All right, let's round out this interview with John Elway just to hear about what he's doing now, what he's up to, and keep your ears open. There's a very, very classic John Elway line in here. I want to see if you can hear it.
Before I let you go, what is John Elway doing these days for all the people out there wondering about you, John?
I've got plenty of business. I'm still in the car business, have a couple restaurants, and so playing a lot of golf. The body's getting a little bit older, so for me, I can't get sedentary. I got to be moving around, so golf's always on the agenda. If I can play golf, to stay outside, move around, and get down to Palm Springs a little bit. And so looking at different things. I've got a wine company selling some wine, and so that's doing very well with Jeff Spurbeck, 7 cellars, and so excited about that. So there's, the good thing is, Adam, now I can get in as deep as I want to get in and work as hard as I want to work. And then if I want to go play, I can go do that. And I have the time to do some of the things that I've never been able to do. So John Elway's in good shape. Got 9 grandkids with the 10th on the way.
Oh my God.
And
oh my God.
And that we talked about, Jack hadn't started yet, so we'll see when him and Maddie's get going. But it's fun. It's great being a grandparent. You get to spoil them. You don't have to discipline them. If they start crying, you give them back to mom. So it's a pretty good life.
So it's a little tough for us, just you and me, to hear this. But did you pick up on the classic John Elway line?
No, I think I missed it. Was it going down to Palm Springs?
I mean, it could be a lot of things. It could be the golf all the time. But he said, word for word, John Elway's in good shape. John Elway, saying John Elway is like the most classic John Elway thing. He said stuff like that so many times. In fact, right after he fired John Fox, he got up on the podium to have his press conference about dismissing John Fox. And he started off by saying, first off, I'd like to thank John Elway. And then, of course, he meant to say, I want to say John Fox. So it was just a classic John Elway line.
He's hilarious, man. I remember my first full year with the team. You know, you have like your team meeting where everybody's there and everybody introduces themselves as like, hello, I'm Joe Ellis. I'm the president of football, and I'm Gary Kubiak. I'm the head coach. And everybody does their thing, and then it gets to John, and he just stands up and says, John Elway. And then like sits back down. Like, everybody knows who I am. There's no questions about my role here. I'm John Elway.
That's incredible, especially because like everyone else knew who the other people were, yet they still gave some background on them.
He's like, you know me. Stop playing.
That is too good. I brought you here, plus I'm a legend here. I'm all around this building.
Exactly.
He's like, you see those two Lombardis, baby?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh man, that's great. I love it. So good to hear from John. He's always going to be Mr. Bronco. I mean, I don't know what would have to happen for someone to usurp him.
Yeah.
But whenever you talk about the Mount Rushmore, he's going to be right there as one. Vaughn, Terrell, Vaughn's in there.
Yeah.
John Elway, Terrell Davis. Those are probably the three that are locked in on the Mount Rushmore.
Maybe Champ.
Yeah, Champ.
Maybe Champ.
I mean, first ballot Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famers, yeah.
No one else outside of those. And Vaughn could be first ballot Hall of Famer. Obviously, TD wasn't. But no one else from a Bronco was first ballot Hall of Fame. So I think you'd probably put Champ there. Other guys that would be in consideration, Shannon Sharp. Potentially, you could go back Floyd Little. I mean, his nickname was the franchise because it was believed that his great place kept the franchise in Denver and saved the franchise. So, but I think you're right. I'd probably go Champ as well.
Yeah.
Did you ever? No, you didn't cross over with Champ in New Orleans.
No, I did.
Oh, you. That was
his, did, right?
Yeah, because 2013 was his last year as a Bronco.
Yeah, it was
and then he
Champ
went.
Who was our other corner? Dang, what was our other corner's name? I think it was Champ.
Was he there for the full year?
I wasn't, so.
So I don't care.
So I don't know. Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah, you would have. Man, that's actually crazy how long he played. And he was so close to being on a Super Bowl team with the Broncos.
Dang.
Just 1 year short. Man, that 2013 team was so injured on the defensive side specifically.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Like even like Von, Wolf, Chris,
Wolf,
right?
Yep,
yeah.
Chris. I mean, you could go through, and I believe more than half of the starting lineup was injured.
Dang.
And I don't think this was the case with you. And from what I've heard from players, I think this was unusual. John Fox kept the injured players in Denver until like the Friday of the Super Bowl, and then flew them out on like Friday or Saturday. So the injured guys who were big parts of the team, Vaughn, Chris, Wolf, weren't around the team during Super Bowl week.
Which is weird because their energy carries weight, and then that's just so uncharacteristic for how a normal week was. Like even like the AFC Championship week, like they're around every day. They're here. They're still coaching guys up. They're talking to guys. So especially for young guys, like to have the guy that you're starting in place of to continue to tell you and teach you and prep you. Like I'm sure they were doing that, with those young guys. So probably was important. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but probably would have been good for him.
And I have to imagine, like, I know a lot of times when a guy gets injured, especially like a season-ending injury, that they're not around as much in the build. Like, they might be in the building, but they're not in his meetings as much. They're obviously not on the practice field, probably ever or rarely. They're just in the building doing their own rehab, and then they probably just get to go home early for the most part. Is that true?
Yeah. It depends on the injury. Which, like you said, probably like season-ending injury.
Right.
So Vaughn was like an ACL or something.
Yep.
But I think the other guys were like just like couldn't play injuries, not like long-term.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Yep. And so I'd imagine, though, that even the season-ending guys, when playoffs comes around, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but when playoffs comes around, I'd imagine they'd be around a little bit more just because it's probably a more exciting time to be around, and then maybe also for that mentorship a little bit.
For sure, without a doubt.
So then to have them around more in the playoffs until Super Bowl week, and then you're just like, nope, we won't see you until the game, doesn't really make sense. Like you said, hindsight, 2020, if the Broncos go out there and win, that's never being questioned. All the other things are never being questioned, but maybe these things would have helped. Maybe not a 35-point loss, but maybe it's a 21-point loss instead. Yeah, exactly. Okay, one final thing relating to John Elway. John Elway's big American financing guy, and so are we now. John Elway used to be doing the ads for American financing. Now it's Sean Payton. They've also had Peyton Manning, so American financing is very well connected, and now we're connected to them as well, and they've got mortgage rates that are lower than they've been in so long, and they're saving customers an average of $854 a month. So if you want to save almost $900 a month, it's almost $10,000. Actually, it's more than $10,000 a year. You need to check out our friends over at American Financing by giving them a call today at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000. And go to AmericanFinancing.net/DNVR, where they are going to help you. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are in it for you. There's no incentive for them to put you in a loan that does not make sense. Their job is purely to save you money, and up to around $854 a month. So give them a call. They're based here in Colorado, but licensed in all 50 states. So wherever you're listening to this, as long as it's in the United States, they can help you. So give them a call over at 303-695-7000 or go to AmericanFinancing.net/DNVR. MLS number 182334, consumeraccess.org.
A shout out to our friends over at Empire Today. With Empire Today, you get shop-at-home convenience, the right products for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a price match guarantee. And great thing about their in-home or shop-at-home convenience, they have a virtual floor designer. It's a great way to see how your new floors will look in any space. It's easy just to snap a picture and instantly see how your new floors will look in any room. So you don't have to question it. You know exactly what you want to see and what you want to have. You can schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use the promo code DNVR. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/DNVR for details.
Okay, so I thought that there might be someone that could get in that Mount Rushmore for the Broncos. I don't know if it's before Champ or it's probably not before Vaughn, because Super Bowl MVP, that's going to be pretty hard to get around, especially if he's a first ballot guy. Maybe it's TD. I don't know. But Pat Surtain, if he spends his entire career, which I hope he does with the Broncos, continues on this path of Pro Bowl every single year, all pro in that conversation, he could very well, maybe he does take Champ's spot since Champ wasn't here his entire career, most of his career. Maybe it's him. And we talked to Pat, our guy, last week at the Super Bowl. So there's a couple of things about the Chiefs. We didn't talk too much about the Super Bowl because we knew that this was going to air after the Super Bowl. But we were able to catch up with our guy, Pat Surtain, last week on the final day of the Super Bowl. Let's get to that interview. We're joined by All-Pro Pat, Pro Bowl Pat, Pick Six Pat in the Pro Bowl. Pat, which one do you like the most?
Let's make Pick Six more trendy. Pick Six Pat.
Pick Six Pat.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How was the Pro Bowl? We were talking to Sauce a little bit yesterday, saying you guys got to hang out a bit.
Yeah. It was a great experience. Obviously, me and Sauce chatted, but being around a bunch of great players, it was pretty dope. But actually having the chance to have fun with it, playing flag football, especially them changing the format to make us do what we love to do best, but having fun with it. So it was a great experience all around.
Do you actually like that the Pro Bowl has the new format and it's not football anymore? It's different?
It's just making it more fun. You know what I mean? We enjoy playing football, but why not add skill challenges, different things to make it, enjoyable. So I love the format all around.
When was the last time you played flag football before that?
Last time?
Last Pro Bowl?
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Pro Bowl.
exactly.
Yeah.
Easy, yeah. You go to the Pro Bowl every
Last
year.
Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
But ever since before, I say high school, probably.
Oh, okay.
High school was the last time.
Okay.
What were you doing before the Pro Bowl? Did you go on a crazy vacation?
Before, I went to Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Not too crazy.
Yeah.
Right around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With this week, there's been some news. Christian Parker, your defensive backs coach, who's been with you the whole time of your entire NFL career, he's going following Vic Fangio to the Eagles. What does that mean for the defensive back room now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously losing him is very tough because obviously he's been 3 years, all my 3-4 years here, he's been there coaching us, which is something you want to have going on towards next year, that consistent structure. But, I'm pretty sure the next DB coach is going to be a great one, and I'm, very excited to work with him.
How closely do you follow news about your team? Like, obviously, Christian Parker, that's somebody you spend a lot of time with, but it seems like it's every day there's somebody saying something about Russell Wilson, something about Sean Payton, something about something else.
It's usually be them that, reach out to me and tell me the news before, obviously, I look at socials. So, obviously, hearing it from him makes it even, obviously official. But, I usually hear it from them.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Speaking of someone else that left, Nick Saban left. Literally, it happened like the day after we had you on our show. What do you think about him walking away?
Shoot, that's tough. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. It was like something that was bound to happen. I seen it coming. I think it's gonna be this soon, but obviously he's getting up there. I think it's his time to really settle in and lay back and kick his feet up. And enjoy his accomplishments, obviously.
You think he'll be a good analyst? He's joining ESPN.
He is?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be a great analyst. He's going to break down the game. Obviously, he's been doing it for years, so I think he's going to do great things in that part of the field.
He was a defensive back. You guys now have a defensive back opening at the coaching position. You called him, tried to bring him in to be your defensive back coach?
Maybe. We'll see. That might be the case. Yeah.
Obviously out here in Vegas for the Super Bowl. Chiefs are back in the Super Bowl.
I know.
What's it like just having to see Chiefs stuff everywhere you go out here?
It sucks, man.
Yeah.
I mean, because I was there in our division, so it adds a little more, icing on the cake to whatever it is. But obviously they got so much great team success, so you got no reason but to, wish them nothing but success. So I think, honestly, it's going to be a great game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to it.
What are the keys for the 49ers?
Keys for the 49ers, obviously you got to stop Pat Mahomes.
Yep.
I think that's the biggest thing.
That's it?
And Kelce. Pat Mahomes and Kelce. You know what I mean? That's it.
Exactly.
When every time I watch a Chiefs game, especially when they've started to ramp it up in the playoffs, I'm like, oh, the Chiefs have scored 2 touchdowns on the opposing team in the first quarter or the first half. And I'm like, wait, that's one more touchdown than you guys gave up to the Chiefs in 2 games combined.
Yeah.
Do you watch it and think man, yeah, we actually did, especially as a defense, did well against them?
Yeah, it's a lot of great things we did this past year that, when you look back at it, it's like, man, I wish we would have capitalized on this opportunity, you know what I mean? Because, winning, obviously, on that 5-game win streak, you know what I mean, that was a great moment. Because, obviously, I feel like we came together as a team to understand our potential. But it just sucks that we couldn't be in that position, you know what I mean? But, obviously, I think we got a lot to build on, from this past season. And we got a lot to look forward to next season coming up.
Any cool plans coming up?
Not really. I'm gonna go back home in Florida, enjoy my time there in the off season. I'm be in Denver here and there, so nothing much. Traveling, of course. I'm still figuring it out that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And my final question: can you tell us about this tattoo? The crown.
Crown.
The king.
Yeah. Shoot. I just got it. Obviously, you want to move like a king, live like a king. You know what I mean? So I just put that on my ear. You know what I mean? Just to let people know what it is type. So, yeah, I had a sense like it was actually right before the draft I got it. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have a controller tattoo anywhere?
No.
Wow. You got the jewelry.
May just spark me another idea, man. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
if you get one, I'll get one.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
a
both
bet.
get controllers.
You got a
Matching
tattoo?
Zero. It'll be
Okay.
my first one.
First one, okay.
I'll do matching tattoos with Pat. Appreciate you, Pat.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you.
Appreciate y'all, man. Yeah.
Thanks, Pat. Oh, you think we're getting matching tattoos ever?
I doubt it.
Yeah, probably not. Move like a king, live like a king. I love that.
Oh, that's hilarious. Where would you get your tattoo?
Oh man, somewhere hidden. So I don't know. I don't think I'd rock a tattoo very well.
I mean, it look good on you.
Oh, you're being too
You
nice.
get a thigh tat like right here, just a PlayStation.
Yeah. How many tats do you have?
I don't even know. I stopped counting. I got them all over now.
What was your first one?
I got my mom's name on my shoulder.
Oh, that's dope.
That's how I suckered her in. I'm like, it's your name, Mom. You're gonna love it.
That's the way to do it. The first one, honor mom, and she can't hate it, right?
Exactly. And I just kept going. Never stopped.
You have a favorite?
No, I think I have a couple favorites. I have like my kids' birthdays right here.
That's awesome.
My wife's lips right here.
That's dope.
My cousin passed away right here.
Man.
Got some like, family on me, so I love that the most.
What would it take for you to get a tattoo, Zach? Like, what do the commenters have to do to get a tattoo?
Oh my gosh.
Like, hey,
That's a great question.
You put yourself
1,000 likes one podcast.
The draft. We have to hit the NFL draft. We have to hit 1,000 likes.
And I gotta think of the right one, the right tattoo for that.
The DNVR flag,
DNVR.
baby.
The
You gotta
DNVR,
get DNVR.
flag. I might have to do something like you did,
Are
like
you-
like my mom, my wife, something like that at first.
She would love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like the lips.
Have you? Oh yeah. You know?
Well, okay. He talked about the lips. We're talking about that.
Hey, I like the lips too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness.
So what is it about tattoos? What is it about tattoos? It was just like not your thing. Was it the pain? Was it just like you never
even thought about
Okay.
tattoos really.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know. You think I'd be able to pull it off?
I think you could. I think you could.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, here. Do you have any tattoos?
Yeah, my right arm is kind of full. I need to fill it up a little bit more, but I got 3 of them.
Are they
You always
all-
have hoodie on, so I never.
Yeah.
You can't really tell. Like, I always have, but like, yeah, I got a big one in my shoulder, got one right here, and one in the back.
What is it?
The
What
big
are
one's
they?
like a bear.
Okay.
I don't know.
Also?
Also, there you
Yeah.
go.
Is that fair in Spanish?
Yeah.
One of them is just the scenery of Colorado, and the other one is golden since 1996, because that's when I was born.
Golden?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope. I need some Colorado tats. I don't have any
Yeah.
Colorado. I got to get the Rockies or something.
Magic?
Not the baseball team, but the mountain.
Do you have a Super Bowl 50 tat?
No, I don't.
Really?
I don't. I thought it was like bad luck to get it while I was still playing. But now that I'm done, maybe I'll get it.
You could.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have an artist in Denver?
Yeah, I do.
So you've got them in Denver. You just
Yeah.
haven't got anyone of Colorado.
Yeah, I get a lot of stuff in Denver. His name is JB. Shout out to JB at Filthy Family Tattoos. He's the man.
Filthy Family. That's a sick name.
Yeah, he's the man.
I love it. Yeah, here. I don't think I've ever. Do you always wear long sleeves? Because I don't think I've ever seen them either.
Summertime, I'll wear like a shirt. I'll
Okay.
wear our graphic tees, DNVR brand.
Okay.
But I'm not here like, hey guys, see my tattoo.
What you say? You say I'm doing too much?
No, dude.
Yeah,
No,
call
if
you
I
out.
look like Todd Davis, I'd wear whatever Todd wears on a daily basis. Trust me.
Maybe our friends over at FOCO could hook you up with a Colorado tattoo because they're all about Colorado. They've got so much cool gear for Colorado, of course, but also for so many different colleges, sports across the country. But they've got so many things for Colorado sports fans. We've got a lot of things on set that are from FOCO. I mean, you can look around. We've got so many bobbleheads, commemorative things, banners. You can get so much of that over at FOCO. And if you use the code DNVR, they're going to hook you up with 10% off over at FOCO.com, where they're the leading manufacturer of sports and entertainment merchandise with a product line that includes apparel, accessories, toys, collectibles, novelty items, and so much more. We love FOCO. If you need it for a gift, this is a perfect place to go for a gift. Check out FOCO.com. Use that code DNVR10 for 10% off.
And you know who else could hook you up? Our friends over at Fubo.
Ooh.
I think it's the greatest app for watching sports, shows, movies, TV, and news. I watch it all in there, especially if you're traveling. It's the best because a lot of those other apps, you got to be at home and you got to make sure you're on your home Wi-Fi or else you can't see what you need to see. Fubo keeps you covered no matter where you are. You can stream live TV from any device, watch the most Colorado sports for the lowest price. You can start watching immediately with a free trial, no contract, no cable, no hassle. Just sign up and start watching. You can go to www.fubotv.com/DNVR to sign up for up to 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro.
Boom. Do it. Check out Foco and Fubo.
And Fubo, by the way, has a bunch of Latin channels that I love.
Oh.
I watch my Mexican soccer there. I watch
Suave
my
Mente?
telenovelas. Like,
Yeah.
I watch my telenovelas on Fubo. It's incredible. Because I know we have a Hispanic crowd
Have you
sometimes.
ever watched Sábado Gigante?
Oh, my
goodness.
I grew up with Sábado Gigante. Trust me, dude, the whole trumpet, the chacal, I know it all. That's the first place I've ever heard Daddy Yankee Gasolina.
Okay.
It was on Sábado
Going
Gigante.
crazy.
Yeah, dude.
It is like you guys are speaking another language
I
right
think,
now.
yeah, we are.
Is that like a soap opera?
No. Very different from a soap
Okay,
opera.
okay.
It's kind of like a late night talk show host,
Yeah.
but it's also like very interactive, huge crowd.
Yeah.
They do games. They do.
I don't. What would you compare it to?
There's nothing like that anywhere else. Maybe in Tokyo, in Japan, like or in South Korea, but like there's nothing else like that.
It's kind of like The Price is Right meets Jimmy Fallon. It's like a little bit of everything and like performers and crazy. It just
So like a late night game show, kind of like you guys said. I think that blends the two things well.
yeah. But there's like performers and
There's
just
interviews,
It's a
there's-
lot of stuff.
What's that one TV show that, oh man, I'm not gonna be able to describe it, where they do the craziest games. It's filmed in a different country and then they dub it with American subtitles. It was a big thing like 20 years ago. It was so, yeah. And the games they play are ridiculous. Like it's just massive rocks that like roll people over and they do like things that are so
It's,
painful.
Most Extreme Elimination Challenge. It was on Spike TV back in the
Yes,
day.
yes,
Which is
exactly.
like Wipeout now, but
Yes.
like,
I remember.
yes.
I love Wipeout.
Yeah, it's Wipeout, but like an even crazier one.
Okay,
like
okay.
less regard for people's bodies,
Yep.
and it's dubbed over with like ridiculous dubbings and stuff. It's really entertaining.
Oh damn, we gotta watch it.
No, you would actually, Todd, you would love this because it's funny,
Yes,
it's stupid,
yes,
it's like
yes.
incredible.
It is. All right, let's jump in to something that hopefully is incredible. It's the off season where we are certainly diving in to our drafts. And we're going to get to this draft. And this draft idea was actually Ryan's idea. And then 2 hours before the show today, he backs out of the show. So
Yeah.
we're stealing the idea and we're rocking with it. We're calling it the Great Dinner Party Draft. And what we're doing is we are drafting. You can stay true to yourself, or you can try to build this for the people. We're drafting the best dinner party guests of anyone. Now, we got to have some rules. Are we doing everyone of all time? Are we doing just people that are alive?
I was doing all time.
All time. You want to stick with all time?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to do all time then. And are we doing real people? Or are we doing like characters?
Real people.
Real people. Okay,
Yeah.
so real people that have been alive at any point in history.
Yes.
Okay. And Yahir is drafting, but he's drafting under the pseudonym of Henry.
I am Hank for the next
You
20
are
minutes, and I am terrified with my mind.
So are you going to try to be like Hank, or are you just going to sabotage him?
I'm going to try to be like Hank,
Okay.
but I don't know how close I'm going to get to Hank.
Okay.
It's such a rare mind.
Well, should we have Hank go first?
All right, my first round pick, and this is full Hank talking. I'm going to go John Elway.
Oh, okay,
I think
okay.
John Elway's a good one.
Yep, that is a good one. That was... I'm not going to give anything away, but that's a good one. That's a good
Okay.
one. I don't think, Todd, you were going to go John Elway.
No,
Yeah, I
no.
don't think so.
No. I feel like I got a pretty epic list. But for my first round draft pick, I'm going with no other than Jesus.
Yeah,
You can't go wrong. I got so many questions to ask. All our water is turning
Yeah,
to wine.
yeah.
I think it's a
Dude, I'll get
It's
to
a
my
great-
uncle, dude. His name is Jesus. Like, I
He's like, Jesus? I know him.
know Jesus. He's out there in the back.
If he can turn water into wine, I want that Jesus too. Yeah, I mean that you can't go wrong.
No, I
that
think-
is the number one pick if you can draft dead or alive.
Yeah, I
for
think
sure.
so.
I mean, you can't go wrong. You literally have like God on your side there.
I think it's a great night.
I just don't think Hank would actually draft.
No.
No.
I think you're spot on with going John Elway for Hank. But I was a little worried. I was a little worried that Todd was going to take this guy, but I was more worried that Henry was going to take this guy. I'm going Peyton Manning here. Now, your teammate, he's not as much of like a... Is he? Is he viewed as like on this pedestal to you? I mean, I wouldn't think so.
I think he's still a great guy. Like, I think I have a lot of admiration for him, like similarly to DeMarcus Ware. For me, DeMarcus Ware is that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? So I hold him in very high regard.
Yep.
I hold Peyton in very high regard too. But I don't know. I've played football with him. So I feel like, you know what I'm saying, I hold him in high regard, but not like. Like, you know what I'm saying? So.
Well, and
He's not Jesus.
And he's held in that sort of regard to a lot of people. So, and it makes sense. I mean, he's a friend of yours.
Yes.
He's a teammate of yours. So, of course, no one's met Jesus in this room. So, of course, he's not held to that regard in you because you've been, no, you've met Jesus. So, yeah, that totally makes sense. But I love the Peyton slid to me with this third one. Okay, now we're doing snake draft, so I'm up again. Trying to think of people that you won't draft, and that I'm not worried about what Henry's going to draft. Man, where do we
draft
go
the same
here?
people? You have to draft first, so if you pick them, I can't pick them, right?
It's true, but I'm going to try to draft the person now and not let like someone else fall.
Okay.
Like let the right person fall to me. Man, I'm going to go... this is a tough one. Where do I go with this one? I'm going to go Taylor Swift. Yeah. I'm going to go with the most... This might not be the most popular pick in Broncos country right now, but I'm going to go with the most popular, successful artist ever. She is. And the Time Person of the Year last year.
That's what I'm like.
Just by like the numbers, she's the most successful.
That's funny because I am actually picking the best, most talented, most successful artist of all time, Michael Jackson.
Oh, okay, that's a good one.
I'm taking Michael Jackson with my second pick.
That's
I think my dinner party is gonna be pretty fire. The music, and the dancing is crazy right now.
Jesus and Michael Jackson might already have their own dinner party.
They're totally living it up right now. I'm just
They're
the third
waiting for you
wheel.
to join.
No, I'm not joining.
Don't join soon.
Anytime soon.
I thought you were gonna steal someone else. I've got someone else on the list.
Again, complete pandering, and I know Hank would go with this.
Okay.
Nikola Jokic. I know Hank would.
He would go with this. Yeah.
He would go
No,
Nikola.
you're right. Yeah, Nikola would be fun at a dinner party.
I think he would.
Like with closed doors, I think he's a lot more enjoyable than he. I mean, and he's opened up to the cameras a little bit, but for being the superstar he is, if he wanted the spotlight, he could have it even more. But he doesn't really want the spotlight, which is so rare for a superstar.
Yeah, very rare.
Where's Hank going now?
All right, 4th round pick. I'm just trying to be Montana as I can. 3rd round pick. It's going to be Don Reed, legendary Montana Grizzly coach.
Oh my gosh! I was like, "Who are you talking about?"
Reed, that's what
I
I'm going
love
with.
this. You're staying true to Henry and
is.
tanking him at the same time.
That's hilarious.
This is incredible. So, football coach, I imagine. Yep. Did you know who Don Reed was?
No, I don't know
good,
who he
because I was like, "What?"
I
is
had
he
to Google
talking
up the
about?
most famous football name in
That's great.
Montana Grizzlies.
That's great.
And I think this is something that Hank would actually like.
That's amazing.
Very nice. I'm switching sports
Okay.
from football to basketball, and I think we have to have Michael Jordan in the building. This is a legendary night, and Michael Jordan got to be there.
He'd probably be a good time too.
I think he's a heck of a time for sure.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. Okay, I'm gonna go. When you said the most sick, what'd you say about Michael Jordan or Michael Jackson? You said the most successful.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Elvis here. So I'm bringing some different tunes here.
I like it.
And going with a legend of a different type. Gonna go Elvis with this pick. Man, I think I know who I'm going with my last one. But where do I go here? Yeah. But I know where I'm going with the last pick because I think this person will be there. Man. But for this one, I want to go with like the Pope, but I feel like I have to pick a specific Pope. And
which one?
And
Yeah.
I don't know, like which Pope, because then I wouldn't have Jesus on my side, but I'd have almost Jesus on my side if I have the Pope there. Let's go. Man, I got the comedy with Peyton. I'm gonna go. Man. I'm gonna go Jimmy Fallon. We're gonna make this a fun dinner. And so I have Jimmy Fallon here. Man, there's so many guys. I didn't prepare for the dead or alive. I mostly just prepared for the alive list here. So I'm probably missing a good chunk of dead people right now. Todd, where are you going?
There's a lot of dead people.
There's a lot of dead people.
I think I'm just gonna keep going with like this legendary group, and I'm gonna bring Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, it's a good one.
The great. I think there's a lot of trash talking to be had at this dinner table, so I know he's bringing it.
Is there still trash talking with Muhammad Ali at the dinner table, or is that kind of all done?
What do you mean?
Are you gonna trash talk Muhammad Ali?
I thought you were saying because he can't talk. I was like, dang. Yeah, for sure. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Just to hear his
might
rebuttal.
Just knock you out.
Jesus, help me.
Jesus, like, oh my God.
Michael Jackson's ducking every way. You
Yeah,
can slide away
moving.
from that. All right, let's round us out here. You hear? Back-to-back picks for Henry.
So for the fourth pick, this is just kind of trying to see how much Henry's such a history buff.
Oh, yep.
So I'm going to go with Abraham Lincoln. I think he'd really enjoy dinner with Abraham Lincoln.
Yep. No,
That's a
he
good
definitely would like that. Man, what a weird table he's at. I don't know if there's any fun at Henry's table.
Henry's no fun. It's fine.
Yeah, it's true. And now how you really rounding us out here?
See, I could completely just sabotage him right here and just go with Mahomes. And just be like a complete a-hole.
You're so right.
And that would be on brand for everybody.
Do you want to do him dirty like that?
I'm not going to do him dirty.
Wow,
I like
you're
my
too
guy
nice.
Hank. I like Hank.
You going Andy Reid instead or what?
I'm Travis Kelce, so yeah, I'm competing dinner tables. This last one, I'm going to go with no fictional characters, right? I'm just going to go with Napoleon. Just kind of keeping the same history buff. I think Hank would really enjoy a dinner with Napoleon and Elway and Jokic.
It definitely fits the vibe.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with Napoleon for this one.
Who's like the odd man out at this table?
You mean
besides Henry?
I mean Don Reed.
Yeah, I guess you're right. All right, Todd, final pick.
Oh my gosh. This is a tough one. The last pick of the draft.
There's like too many people.
This is our Mr. Irrelevant.
Oh, wow. You want to go Brock Purdy?
This is tough because I feel like, I don't want it to be just like a sausage fest. And I'm all about inclusion.
Yeah, I'm the only person that has picked a lady right now.
I know.
Honestly, if it was me, I would go Serena Williams.
Serena's
she's
great.
badass, but that's just...
Yeah.
There's somebody that I would kind of, I guess, want to know a little bit more about their life. And I feel like her beauty, besides my wife, was probably unmatched. Like if she's willing, if two men are literally willing to go to war over this woman, I think Cleopatra would be a great addition to this table.
That's a great one.
And kind of round us out.
Yeah, that's a great one. Man, so we have one president, I guess, with Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Man, that might be a route that I want to go down, but I don't know if we're putting this on Twitter, if going political, even though I'm not trying to go political, if that's gonna kill me here. Do you think it will?
I don't know.
A kooky president, like Carnegie or something.
Nixon?
Yeah. I mean, I guess there'd be stories there, wouldn't they?
Be a heck of stories. I think presidents may have the best stories out of anybody because you have every scare as far as like a terrorist scare, but then you also have all these secrets and secret documents for years.
Aliens,
oh my gosh.
Like all
aliens,
the aliens, to get out of them. Who was it? Whoever was the president during World War II, I forget. Teddy Roosevelt. would be a great guy.
Man, he
all
would
the
be
secret doors, and they were sneaking Marilyn Monroe in.
John F. Kennedy, like John F. Kennedy would have some
Oh,
crazy.
my God.
Let's
Also,
go. Let's do that. You just hit it because I was gonna go with Obama. I mean, just because like up to date secrets too and stuff.
Yeah.
But presidents that are alive are just gonna be more controversial. I feel, except for like Nixon. If you went with him, he's pretty controversial. But I'll go with JFK. That's a good one. You helped me out there.
Another one that's like MLK would have been fun.
Yep.
MLK at the table would be a lot of fun.
would
MLK.
be.
I had
Yeah.
Nelson Mandela on my list. To
Ooh.
like bring some wholesomeness to the dinner table.
Yeah.
Some other guys, of course, Tiger Woods was on the list.
That you could put together a party list like Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods.
Yep.
Charlie Sheen, like it
Oh,
could be
yeah.
a wild night.
The reason I want to draft Ask Hank because I know most of the people I'd have a dinner party with, nobody would know how they are. I'm like, give me Vicente Fernandez. Yeah, I want Vicente. Give me Chicharito, 10 out of 10. Like most people would be like,
I know who that is.
yeah, like and people like most people would kind of know, but they wouldn't. So like, I'd rather just pick Ask Hank.
We're gonna have to do this with like only athletes. We're gonna have to do this with like anyone but athletes because there's so many people.
Yeah.
I mean, we should do this with like just football players, just basketball. I mean, we could do it so much. We could do so many lists. This is a fun one though.
You could have also gone with Coach Prime for Todd, and he would have fit the whole list perfectly.
It would have been good.
Wait,
All
are you saying
greats.
Coach Prime and Jesus are like one and the same? Have you bought into
No,
that?
if I had gone
bought
Tiger
into-
Woods, I feel like it would have been.
Yeah, I think it just fits the vibe, you know, like Michael Jackson, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, kind of at the top of their professions, and they were always a little bit of a shit talker, so I think it would have fit perfectly with that whole thing.
Yeah.
Jesus, we don't know if he was
Jesus,
a
the
shit
big
talker.
shit talker.
We don't know what he did, but
He probably like
America,
never
he
talked
would-
shit or was the biggest shit talker.
yo, you want to see this water real quick?
He just performing miracles left and right. Yeah.
Oh man, this was a blast. So we are going to put this on Twitter over at DNVR_Broncos later today, and we're gonna have people vote on this. Todd, the early results coming in the live comment section is that you are going to win, but I'm gonna keep you humble here. You got third place when we did this last.
Yeah,
Third
I don't
out of
know.
third.
I don't know what people are doing when they go to Vegas, man. That's crazy.
Well, maybe they'll know what they're looking for in a dinner party. Lines
Maybe.
up with you. This has been a blast of a week. Todd, I've had a great time today rolling with you. You're here. You've been awesome. Shout out to Henry for being with us 4 of the 5 days this week. And we'll see you back on Monday, the DNVR Broncos podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.